Owl fans, it's time for a Hootie Hoo, Impact Media's weekly dive into the world of KSU hockey, football, and rugby. Uh, Tons to talk about this week. Man, got a repping the big jersey. Hockey season will start this week. Before we get into any of that, remember, if you want to help the show, you can do so by following us. Go to best thing to do, go to YouTube, look for impact underscore media underscore. You will find all of our amazing shows there, whether you just watch this one, whether you watch any of the other five, six, seven, eight other shows. The hockey show board check will be back this week. I know I keep saying that, but it will be back this week. Tons to get into. There's rugby news, there's football news, but as I said, let's start right there. KSU hockey is back. They will start this week on Friday and Saturday. That is the 4th and 5th of October. They will be on the road. They're playing up in Duluth at one of the coldest barns I have ever been to in my life. I had to stay moving around just to stay circulation going. Man, that place is cold. So take extra layers and jackets if you make it up there. Um, I know we won't. They are going to be playing against Georgia Tech, up in Duluth, where the Thrashers used to practice. More information on that, go to their Instagram. That's the easiest place to find it. But I know we won't be up there Friday because we will be at the football game. Um, I'll be honest, Saturday you probably won't see us up there either. Now Sunday, depending on how it shakes out, maybe Sunday we are going to try to sneak up to the Ice House up in Kennesaw, Marietta, and do some last run throughs and things to get ready to broadcast because next week is the official home stand of the KSU Owls. They will play Friday night in the cooler. In fact, I'll be up in that booth. That'd be the Friday night. And it's the only home game so far this year that we will be playing there. I am the voice of KSU YouTube hockey. Very appreciative of that. So come see us at games. And next Saturday, yeah, next Friday we'll be at the Cooler in Alpharetta. Next Saturday we'll be at the Ice House. We're going to figure out the best way to record these and do some fun stuff. But like I said, they start on the road against Georgia Tech up in Duluth. That should be a lot of fun. Um, we did pretty well against Georgia Tech last year. So I look forward to a great start this year. The team is already rounded into shape. The few question marks that I had injury wise and otherwise seem to be back on the ice and doing well. So go check out some hockey, guys. We're going to be talking more about it next week. Like I said, we will. I will be at the Friday and the Saturday game next week. I'll be at the Friday night football this game this week, and let me tell you about it now. Let's just go right into it. Because as stoked as we are about hockey beginning, I'm still excited about this football team, and you guys should too as well. I was able to check out the press conference with Coach Bohannon this week, earlier today. He said some good things. He's getting asked tough questions, and he knows that. I have asked him a couple of them myself, but he still believes in this team, and he believes in what he's building, and the school believes in him. So don't try one of these, get him out of here. Oh, this guy should have. Yeah, you're behind a keyboard, bud. You're behind a keyboard. You know, anybody can sit here and say, "Oh, that was dumb. I could have done this. I could have done this." Really? Well, if you're so good, how come you're behind a keyboard or behind an iPhone and that guy's getting paid to do it? He's paid his dues. He's he's done everything that he needed to do to get himself in that position. All you do is eat nachos and complain. The crazy thing is the kind of fans that I'm talking to are people that you guys know, but not people that watch my show because you guys are all awesome. Every time I meet you guys are awesome. Love hanging out with you guys. Love when you tell me that you watch the shows or that you like or did. Hey, even when you tell me you thought I was completely wrong, maybe you don't like the direction the team's going. Tell me when you see me. That's fine. Let's talk about it. You got questions for Coach Bo? I'm not afraid to ask him anything. So if you guys write them down or tell me, I will make a note of them and do my best to get them in a press conference. But as I said, the next game is this Friday night at Fifth Third Bank Stadium. 7 p.m. kick versus Jacksonville State. That should be fun. I was a little off last week when I thought they were playing Jack State then. Um, I think Bronson Rechsteiner could be in the building Friday. I do. Couple different reasons. For one, he is usually free on Friday nights. I know what some of you say. Some of you say, "Oh, well, he's on the wrestling schedule that he's on." Well, little peek behind the curtain here. Move the curtain out of the way. Here we go. Yep. This is how it works. Monday Night Raw for the WWE is filmed pretty close to live on Mondays. Friday Night SmackDown is a lot of times recorded on a Tuesday, sometimes a Wednesday, most of the time a Tuesday. It is recorded. So what you see on Friday night happened earlier in the week, majority of the time. They've done a couple live ones, not many. And it's the way they operate, that way that their talent that is on the Monday schedule might do a Saturday, Sunday, Monday schedule. And the people on a Tuesday schedule might do a Sunday, Monday schedule. And then they get a couple days during the week to go home and do things, and then they come back. So even though he is a Monday person, that means he's definitely not doing anything on a Sunday or a Saturday or a Friday. In this case, a Friday. So he's going to get his obligations out of the way early in the week. He's going to be available to come in. And I know what a lot of you guys say, why would he come back to this? First off, he still cares a lot about KSU. Do you not see all the different interviews he does? He's usually wearing his KSU letter jacket, or he's talking about EAT. You guys know what that stands for. He's constantly talking about this program. You guys, if you're not seeing it, then you missed it. He says it all the time. He makes references to the program all the time. Uh, point number two, point number one is that he's available. Point number two is his cousin. I forgot his cousin's name, but his also Rex Steiner. It is his uncle's kid. Plays for Jacksonville State. He does. He plays for Jacksonville State. Interesting, right? This could be a family affair. And point number three, next Sunday, or this Sunday, rather, or this Saturday, rather, the WWE is having a premium live event, aka pay-per-view, but it's a premium live event. It's what they call it. It's what it is in Atlanta, just up the road from Fifth Third Bank Stadium. Bad Blood is in town. Yep. We'll talk more about Bad Blood on our wrestling show Strong Style later in the week. But there's three reasons why Bronson Rechsteiner could be in town. I think he's going to be in town. But let's go back to the game versus UT Martin, the Skyhawks. A lot of people I've seen have said, "Oh man, the Owls just got ran over." No, they actually didn't. Oh yeah, but it was 24-13. I mean, that's 11 points. That's two scores. Well, okay, I appreciate your ability to do math and football math at that. That's okay. That's impressive. But you had to see this game, or you had to at least see the highlights or follow along because this game was super tight the entire time. Uh, Outside of a late pick six and one little mishap, this game was as close as it could be late in the contest. We've already heard from Coach. Got my stat sheet. You guys can't see the stats. Got my stat sheet. Um, we know Davis Bryson is still the quarterback last time I checked. Even though Jacob Ulrich, the punter, with a fantastic 32-yard bomb to Blake Bohannon in a fake punt. Love it. Love it. Told Coach Bo that one. Love that. Um, but Davis Bryson is still your quarterback. He's doing better, guys. You got to think when he was recruited, he was probably recruited as an option quarterback. Doesn't mean he can't throw, just means he didn't have a reason to mostly. So now he's having to get used to not running all the time, but making solid pass plays, and he's doing that. I mean, he completed like 60% of his passes. NFL average is like 63. He's right there on it. Um, this week, Takeem Wallace had a couple massive grabs, and Blake Bohannon actually emerged as the big receiver for the week. And when I brought that up to Coach Bohannon, because that is one of his sons that is on the team, um, I knew he wouldn't talk as much about it because he stays humble that way. He wants to brag about his kids, but that whole football team are his kids when he's the coach. Now when he goes home, absolutely he has those two sons that he likes to talk about. But I asked him, I said, Blake really got a lot of targets and made some big plays today. Was that part of the scheme or just what was being dealt to you guys? And he said, yeah, that's a lot of it. Is that he was the one um, who got a lot more targets because based off the scheme and based off the defense they were playing, he was the one springing open a lot more. Uh, could see more of that in the future. Maybe it's Christian Moss, maybe it's Quay Ashley, maybe it's Tykeem Wallace, maybe it's somebody we don't normally mention. That's a good thing about this team right now. It could be anybody. Jacob Ulrich, by the way, 43.2 yard average on his punts. His longest was a 49. Man, I thought he could kick a football. Turns out he can throw it pretty well. Um, we talked to I think his name was Milan Jones or Milan. Maybe it was Milan. But he had a solid day with 10 total tackles, made some big plays um coming off the defensive side of the ball. Easy for me to say. Sidney Porter with a pretty solid day as well. Wandarian Silas and Danelius Johnson all with pretty solid days there. I mean, like I said, nobody scored until early in the second when UT Martin put 7 points on the board. KSU answered like 6.5 minutes later with the pick six. Um, Van Winkle for them was really ripping the ball. Let her rip Tater Chip. But he made it 10-7. And then Welch actually hit a 49-yard field goal with 53 seconds left. Or no, with no time left on the clock to tie this at 10. So at halftime it's 10-10. So you know what? So when you go in the locker room and go, we just got to win the next two quarters. We just got to win the next two quarters. The first half is a draw. And then UT Martin come out and scored 14 points in the third. Made it a little hard to catch up. And then the field goal by Welch, making it 24-13. And like I said, one of those was a 63-yard interception run. It was an okay pass. Wasn't the world's best by Davis Bryson, but it wasn't terrible. So, just an errant throw that went to the other team. It happens. Like I said, Jaron Van Winkle, by the way, is the kicker, the punter's name. But this team does a lot, and they do a lot more than you think they do. And they hear you, by the way, and that's good and bad. it's good because they hear when you cheer for them, especially among all the rain and wetness. We're in the outside pavilion this year, so I actually had my rain jacket and my rain suit pants that were keeping my computer dry, so I continue to update you guys. I was in a little pavilion, um, pretty much by myself for the second half. There was a scout from Canada that was there for the first half, but that was the second game of the day, so he checked out. Um, but had a good time with the people in the pavilion next to me. They were pretty cool. Uh, Super nice couple with their little girls. They were having a fantastic time. Didn't care that it was wet. They also had the Georgia Alabama game on. That's going to get me a lot of backlash, but Roll Tide. Yeah, and you guys know I'm not an Alabama fan, but it definitely benefited me in many, many ways that that game ended the way it did. But back to the Kennesaw game, they hear you when you cheer, and they hear you when you don't. I'm not saying you can't boo things you don't like or be critical, but keep in mind these are 17 to 22, 23 year olds who get up every day, put on their cleats, and play as hard as they can. I'm not saying they're not talented because they're way, way more talented than most people give them credit for, but they're putting it together and they could use your support. The hockey team can, the rugby team can, the football team can, the softball team, if there's backgammon or uh, I actually got food from the concession stand, and at the section that I went over to, the equestrian team was in there, and all the tips that you gave that day were going to the equestrian team. As somebody who has a younger cousin who is big into equestrian and riding horses, and I mean she jumps all the gates and all the stuff, and she's fantastic. It's good to know that KSU offers a place that she can go to school or potentially maybe even at that point get a scholarship and help pay a little bit. But or if not, just the opportunity to compete at a collegiate level at a sport she loves. So, obviously we gave them a few ducats. Hopefully that helped them out a little bit. But regardless of what team it is, if you're a fan of KSU, then be a fan of KSU. And that's fine if you want to be critical here and there. Let's just remember these ladies and gentlemen are going to be the future leaders of our communities. So let's treat them with respect and just keep saying "Go Owls." Just keep saying "Go Owls." So let's move to rugby real quick. They played. They are. I think this was game two on their schedule. This is men's rugby, by the way. I didn't get an update from the women, but next time I promise you I will have one. They played at UGA. They played up in Athens. I believe that's where they play. Not for certain on that, but they played against the Bulldog rugby team and unfortunately come out on the short end of the stick, 19 to nothing, 19 to nil. Which considering where they were last year, I want them to win, but 19 to nothing against a solid squad like UGA is not bad. And in some of the highlights and some of the things I was able to see, and some of, hearing from some of the people there, this team played hard. They just come up short when it come time to score. That's look across the state in the last week or so. A lot of teams in that same boat. A lot of teams in that same boat. But 19 to nil. Okay. Their next contest, by the way, is this Saturday at LSU. If you're down in Louisiana area, I'm gonna go check it out. I'm sure the guys would love to see you down there. They'll be at LSU. That is this Saturday, the 5th. I do not know the actual kickoff time. They usually play around 10:30 around here, so that's probably close to that there, I would imagine. They're another one. Support them. They definitely don't have the funding. that football gets. Same thing with hockey. If go online, find ways to donate to them. I think a lot of them set up all kinds of programs where you can help them out, and just go do your part. That's all they ask, and that's all that I ask, and that's all that they ask of me. Whether I'm covering football or covering rugby, or whether we're covering hockey and also doing the play-by-play. We do it because we love the sport. We love these young gentlemen that are playing uh, the game they grew up playing and they love, and we're doing our best to help them be showcased in the highest way possible. And like I said, just continue to continue to support them and do all you can. And it's pretty much got us to the end of the show because I'm kind of rambling now. But appreciate everybody tuning into this edition of Hootie Hoo. Remember, hockey is up in Duluth this Friday and Saturday night against Georgia Tech. If you're in the area, go check them out. Tell them the Impact sent you. Rugby is at LSU this Saturday, the 5th, and football has the Friday night lights versus Jacksonville State, 7 p.m. kickoff at Fifth Third Bank Stadium. Other than that, I'm Jeremy the Impact York. Thanks for tuning in to the latest edition of Hootie Hoo. We will see you guys next time. Deuces, gooses, go Owls.